In the original Jurassic Park movie, there was supposed to be a scene where Ray Arnold, Sam Jackson's character, gets killed by a velociraptor, and it is 100% different from anything we see go down in the finished movie. In this version of the film, Ray Arnold and Robert Muldoon both go outside to check out the raptor pen, and that's where things get crazy. What's going on, guys? Hope you're all doing well. Now, in this video, I wanted to go over how Samuel L. Jackson almost died in Jurassic Park before a whole bunch of stuff got changed. So after Arnold and Muldoon go outside and start hanging around the raptor pen, both men approach the area locked and loaded with guns. This makes way more sense to me because in the original Jurassic Park, Muldoon even tells Ellie, "You can't just stroll down the road, you know?" before opening up the safe and breaking out that Spaz 12. Now, the scene begins with a raptor jumping onto the fence now that it's not electrified, and they straight up blast it before it can climb out. But coming up from behind them, two more raptors dive onto the walkway and start making their way over to the guys, who turn around just in time to see them get out. Now, Arnold actually lets out a shot, but he gets bitten in the shoulder by a velociraptor that has snuck up from behind, and this animal full on pulls Arnold into the raptor pen over the railing. So even though Ray got to kill one of the dinosaurs and let off some shots, he still dies, but goes out in a completely different manner than what we see in Jurassic Park once they filmed the movie. Now, as far as Muldoon goes, we were supposed to get this awesome shot of him staring down a velociraptor that's charging at him on the walkway, before we cut to the guy firing his gun at the animal and presumably killing it, only to show that there's another one right behind him ready to pounce. Notice that none of this stuff is in the final movie, like, at all, and honestly, that's probably for the best because we are killing raptors left and right over here in this scene, so there's not going to be any big showdown with them and the T-Rex at the very end. Still, the idea of Muldoon straight up blasting raptors is always cool in my opinion, and I think we need to see something like that in a future movie, 100%. Now, the cool thing about this batch of storyboards is that it's playing with the idea of a raptor ambush or showdown way more than what we got in the finished film. If you guys have ever read the Michael Crichton novel, you know the raptors have this entire subplot of them breeding on the island and getting out all over the place. They even have this ominous moment where the characters see them gathering on the beach to look at a ship passing by, planning their escape. And in fact, a lot of the raptors do get off of Isla Nublar in the book, and I don't know, it's just super fun to have Muldoon and Arnold going out into the jungle to try and do something, and then they both get jumped by the raptors and have to blast as many as they can just to survive. Also, the idea of Arnold getting bitten in the shoulder before he's pulled over the railing is very Aliens. It reminds me a lot of Hudson's death, and it's something that I think could still, to this day, be the perfect sort of addition to the Jurassic Park franchise. And you know Samuel L. Jackson would have done an incredible job with that scene alone. Had this scene made it into the final version of Jurassic Park, I think that Stan Winston's crew would have put together a seriously cool attack sequence with their awesome practical effects. In fact, there is actually a ton of behind-the-scenes footage of those guys testing out raptor attack scenes where the raptors are following people running alongside a fence and even jumping on top of it and biting. So it could be that they were already anticipating this whole attack sequence early on while making the Velociraptor special effects for Jurassic Park. There's even this one moment where they wanted to entertain the idea of someone's gun screwing up and a raptor just straight up pouncing on the guy.
That's good, that's good. All right, that's good. Good job, Chuck. Good job.
Why not, man? Why not punch him? Yeah.
Now look guys, if you thought that was crazy, check this out. Back when they were shooting Jurassic Park, Hurricane Iniki hit Hawaii, and Samuel L. Jackson says this was actually what led them to cutting his death scene from the film and going with something completely different. But look, hold on to your butts because they actually did storyboard and create some really gnarly ideas for some gruesome shots and imagery that unfortunately never made it into the final cut. You can find these in the Making of book for Jurassic Park by Jody Duncan, mistaken, but Jurassic Collectibles here on YouTube actually owns the severed leg that Ellie was supposed to trip over in that scene after she gets Arnold's arm falling onto her from the ceiling. On a side note, by the way, like, what is happening here? Like, what happened to Arnold? These guys have ripped the man apart, and for some reason, the raptor thought it would be a good idea to leave his arm dangling on a pipe up there or something while his leg is still lying on the ground for Ellie to trip over. I mean, at the beginning of the movie, we see one of the animals lift Joffrey off the ground and pull him like 6 feet in the air, which I guess is implying that the dinosaur has like latched onto the side of the cage and is trying to yank at him with leverage while Muldoon was trying to save the dude's life. But here, it looks like the dinosaur ripped Arnold apart, grabbed hold of his arm, and just climbed up the piping to gnaw on it before all of this crazy rebooting of the system was going down. I mean, like, does that mean the Velociraptor was watching Ellie walk in while it was elevated and looking down at her at the control panel or something? And look, I don't know, but like the whole concept of Ray Arnold's death scene and what goes down in the first Jurassic Park movie, it's seriously awesome, and it's the kind of stuff that I think makes a lot of people super interested in the more mysterious elements of how these dinosaurs hunt and how these scenes were made. Like, what is going on in that scene? Why does his arm fall down from the ceiling? You know what I mean? Now look, I've got a couple of serious questions I have for all of you guys. What do you think Jurassic Park would have been like if they put that scene, the original Ray Arnold death scene from those storyboards, in the movie? And what do you think it could be like if the modern day filmmakers that are making these new Jurassic World sequels took what's already been planned out here and adapted it for a future Jurassic World project? Personally, I think that's awesome. I mean, I really do want them to go back into the archives, look over every little bit of storyboarding, every little bit of script revisioning, and anything they can possibly find for dinosaur designs, whatever it is, and just copy and paste that into newer Jurassic World stuff. I have been talking for a while now about some of the issues that I think Jurassic Park has been running into as a franchise, and if they just tweak a little bit of stuff here and there, which they could honestly come away with one of the best Jurassic Park sequels ever made. And I think the audience is really looking forward to that. Everything I'm seeing lately is just crazy. Like, Netflix has Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, Dominion, and Rebirth in their top 10 movies like that are being streamed, and this is just so interesting to me because we hear all the time people talking about how they don't like anything Jurassic Park except the first movie. I go back in the archives and show you all this stuff, and I'm like, hey, this would be really cool in a new one. And I don't know, they did a lot of that stuff for Rebirth, so take a look at this stuff, Universal. Maybe put it in a new film. I'm sure that a lot of people would get a kick out of it. And speaking of the whole scene in general, I think this is more of what James Cameron would have done in his version of Jurassic Park had that movie been made. But even if Spielberg was the one that directed this scene, I think it would have been extremely memorable and became one of the movie's most iconic parts. Just imagine right now, in the present day, if you have Owen Grady and some guy actually deal with this kind of problem in a future movie. Right down to Chris Pratt staring down a charging dinosaur after his buddy gets pulled over the I mean, I'm sorry guys, I'm just saying all of what's going on here is super cool, and they can still do something like this in a new movie right now. Anyways guys, what do all of you think about this scene? What are your thoughts on it showing up in a new film? What do you think Jurassic Park would have been like if we saw Samuel L. Jackson get pulled over the railing in the movie? What's going on with Stan Winston's practical effects stuff here? What do you think about Ellie tripping over the severed leg? There is so much to talk about and so much stuff from the old school movies that they could just put in the new films. I'm sorry, like, I just find this stuff awesome, but whatever your own thoughts and opinions happen to be, I'd love to hear all about them in the comments down below. Now, before I go, I want to thank everyone that's helped me build my channel over the years. I'd also like to thank every one of you guys who've watched my stuff. You've all been extremely cool to me. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a like and hope that you'll consider subscribing. God bless you all. Christ is King. See you guys in the next video, and as always, take it easy.